Hey all, Bad Hair Day JTC here, and today I wanted to talk about something regarding the video game industry that's been bothering me for a while now. And before I even start, I know that there's a lot about the video game industry in general that needs a lot of changing, but today I wanted to talk about just the lack of communication that causes games to pretty much die instantly. Today, games are not like they were back then. Devs release games, and then after they release them, they're supposed to support them for a certain amount of time until eventually they taper off the support to either A, release a new product, or B, release a new product. But, and I can already hear the boomers in chat saying, oh, GTC, back in my day, video games didn't get supported. They got released, and that's what you got. They never got patches or bug fixes. And I would say to that, yeah, that was my history with video games too. Call of Duty, Halo, all of these games. But that's the process of releasing a game and then never supporting it again is an archaic practice that is completely out of date and doesn't mean anything anymore. The times have been changing with video games. Now video games are designed to be supported for multiple years to allow companies to make money off of them so they don't have to feel the need to pump out basically the same game every year. Call of Duty. But a lot of problems is that dev companies don't realize that they actually have to communicate with their fan base in order to do this. And I mean, there's a lot of companies and games who are guilty of this, vermintide included. But I've actually pulled up some examples here through Steam charts that I think show exactly what I'm talking about. I have 3 different games that we're going to look at right now. First is Darksburg. Darksburg is that top-down kind of zombie survival game that I covered a few months ago that I thought was really cool that I got from a Humble Bundle Game Pass. All-time peak is 1,000 people. Look how many people are playing today. Playing 21 minutes ago was 10 people. This game is completely dead. And if you want to know a secret, it was 6 months ago. Around, I don't remember exactly when it was, but like 3 or so months ago, they released a brand new patch that added a lot to the game, and guess what? It didn't work. No one came back. Why? Because they were radio silent about what they were working on the entire time. They offered no insight to what they were working on, they talked about absolutely nothing, and they left everyone in the dark. And what happens when people are left in the dark? They leave to go do something else. And same thing with second Extinction, right here. All-time peak 2,000, playing 40 minutes ago, 83. And that sucks because I actually really loved, like, look at this massive spike. But I really loved this game. This game was so much fun, and I wish it actually got somewhere, but because the devs were completely stone cold silent about everything that was happening, it just died. And it's like, it's not even a lack of content. As long as the dev companies are willing to talk about what's going on, then unless there is a devoutly zealous community that's backing them, the game's going to die. The only 2 examples that I can think of games that have poor communication but still survive are Dead by Daylight and Vermintide. And of course, Vermintide, I don't even know, what is the Steam charge for Vermintide? But like, Vermintide, the only reason Vermintide is still existing is because the community, as little of us that there are still feel very strongly about this game. So yeah, from 73,000 down all the way to 2,900. That's not a lot. That's actually scary. That's down from the 4,000, 5,000 player average that we had only like, what, a year ago? Yeah, from like only like a couple of months ago, really. And it went just back down, and now it's back down to 3,000, 2,000. And that's because Fat Shark isn't communicating as much as they recently have. And it scares me because this downward trend is going to continue until eventually there's going to be no one playing, other than, the 1,000 of us who love this game to death. And another example that I have, more recently, Fireteam. Look, just immediately, you can look at the red numbers. You can look at the red numbers right here. And all-time peak 1,500, playing an hour ago, already less than 1,000. Already. It's not even been a month. It's not even been a month since release, and there's already less than 1,000 people playing. Why? Not necessarily because of the lack of content. They've released phalanx, they've released quick play, they've done bug patches, they released new weapons to play with, but it's because they're not communicating with their player base, and that's so frustrating. There are so many games like Darksburg, Second Extinction, Aliens, Fireteam that deserves some success, some resemblance of success. Vermintide 2, I don't think I have to say that, but they don't get it because they don't communicate. And I still feel like a lot of these dev teams are still in the mindset of early 2000s of, oh, all we have to do is just release the game and not say anything, and people will stay and play. And it's like, listen, back then, back in the early 2000s, you played a game a single time, you paid $60 for it, played the game a single time, and went, oh, that was a cool experience, and then you were done with it. Unless you were like, A, completionist and ran through the game multiple times to get all achievements or all collectibles, or B, you were playing Call of Duty or Battlefield or one of those multiplayer games where you just played multiplayer the entire time. And let's be real, not even the multiplayer back then was supported as nearly as much as it is now, if at all. So, I don't know, it's just super frustrating to see this brand new game that's pretty damn good in my opinion, just dying because the devs aren't saying anything. Of course, I would also like to point out there's a difference between not being able to say anything because of NDA and not saying anything because you're just not saying anything. And of course, there's also, such a thing as empty promises and all those problems, but something at the end of the day is better than nothing. And I say all of this today because Black for Blood came out today, and I'm a little scared that Turtle Rock is going to follow in the same path as all of these other devs, and the game is going to die. I'm also scared of microtransactions, let's be real, but other than that, I'm scared that the game is going to die prematurely because Turtle Rock isn't going to communicate with its player base. So yeah, that's all I wanted to rant about today. Bye.